Hello guys, this is supposed to be a quick video to show you how you can clear 150 vocation TOA rates with using mainly Bowfa. This is not really aimed at any gear without using Bowfa, so if you don't have one, you're probably just better off watching someone else's guide. But yeah, let me have you a quick rundown for it. So as for invocations, I'm using a pretty default setup. I use hardcore because I think you're realistically not gonna die, and if you do, just reset the run, it's not a big deal really. I really focus on the crocodile Zebak invocations because they're just easiest to deal with. I use one for Kephri that's just blowing mud, and I use whatever you see on screen. A lot of people will recommend you to use the overclocked ones because they're pretty free. It's not adding a lot of damage, it's just you have to dodge the wardens quicker. But I just kind of don't like to deal with that. I just like to have more time basically and make it easier. I use quiet prayer on the diet, and that means that you're not allowed to use solid food essentially, so you have to bring potions for healing. And I use lively larvae, it's just kind of free. Next we'll have a quick look at the gear setup. You want to start in your best melee offensive gear, and you definitely want to bring a Kephri Partisan for Kephri, and you also need a Dragon Dagger for Wardens P1. You might as well want to bring a whip or any other kind of weapon to clear some of the rooms quicker. Then you want to bring your Bowfa switch. Keep in mind that most of the damage is going to be dealt by ranged in this setup, so yeah, it's definitely worth to bring another necklace switch in that case. Then also you'll need your mage setup, of course, and I'm also using the RC spellbook to custom thralls for additional DPS. For potions and food, I'm using 4 super restores and then 1 superset. If you have super combat potions, for sure bring those. I don't have them on my Iron Man yet, so I had to bring a super strength and a super attack, super range pot here. And then essentially what I do is I just pre-pot with a Saradomin pot and a restore, then into a stamina, and then do either anti-venom or antidote. You'll use that, so essentially you can get poisoned in the Wardens Pre-Room, in that order I do, just to deal with that. And then I pre-pot once with a superset. Fill all those slots up with Saradomin pots and you're ready to go. Alright, now I'm gonna show you an example kill of how to make this work. Please forgive me about the video quality and about the cropping. I've never actually intended to upload any of that to YouTube, and it was mainly meant to be to help out my group. It's a group Iron Man account after all. So in the background you'll see me pre-pot just the way I showed you. I pre-pot all those pots and fill everything up with Saradomin brews, and then go ahead and start it. So I'm not going to go into a lot of details during that kill, but if you have any questions about the run and I don't mention any of that here, just please let me know in the comments, I will gladly help you out. So basically I just start with Kephri, because I'm pre-potted already. This room is pretty free, it's a level 1 room, so just do the puzzles. For that I use some plugins. One of them is the TOA puzzle solver, I think it's called. This one gives you some like nice little yeah, you'll see right here, it gives you those numbers, for example. It'll basically solve some of those rooms for you. So at this point I'm starting the Kephri kill. I'm already pre-potted from earlier, spawn the melee thrall and start damaging it with piety. You don't have to pray in the first phase, just make sure to dodge the red AoE for at least 2 tiles every time he does it. When you have the poo mechanic, I'm gonna call it the dung mechanic, you wanna make sure to stand in one of the corner tiles, then instantly run back and attack him. So here I'm phasing him, and then he spawns the big guy. The first guys are rangers or prey range, and also make sure to dodge the suicide bombers. And if you're not praying range, you might get poisoned here, so from this point on just start or keep praying range, but also keep in mind you're still antidoted from the beginning of the run. You don't really have to clear those ads. If you're in a solo and you don't have a low tick weapon, you won't be able to clear them fast enough anyway, so unlike me, you can probably just don't even bother and just basically AFK this phase and dodge the suicide bombers. If you see him spawning those X he's about to do now here, just only kill the one close to him, because they have like some AoE circle around them, and don't bother about the other ones, just keep damaging him. So after facing him a second time, immediately switch your prey to prey mage, because the mage can actually deal quite a lot of damage, and start focusing on him. Still dodge the suicide bombers as well if you can, and then go on at the melee and start praying range at this point again, unlike what I'm doing in the video here. What you can do in higher level TOA raids is, instead of using all the poop mechanics in the same corner like I did here, you can actually make it so the melee guy is trapped inside on his spawn, just where you started. If you make the triangle on the other side and effectively make him stuck inside there, you can still hit the mage on the outside, and the melee can never touch you, so you can completely ignore it. But that's already advanced, and you don't have to bother for that. You probably have enough DPS to just kill him in a couple hits. At this point the thing is pretty easy, just keep damaging him with Piety on and pray range so you don't get hit by the small ads. Eventually a shell will break and you can damage him to kill him. Alright, here I do the Bowfa Pre-Room. It's actually the room I hate the most. It's not that bad once you have the hang of it, but essentially just drop some spaces and take out the water thing. You probably already know how to do it. I can only recommend you to watch some guides online. Essentially, what you want to do with Bowfa, it has pretty high accuracy, so you can actually kill the crocodiles pretty easily or pretty okay. So just make sure that you kind of wait for one to spawn, kill him, and then, like here, you see me wait for him to spawn, kill him, and only then after use the water, so it gives you a little bit of more time to do the second one. And if you fail it, just don't bother, don't tilt, just keep going and continue until the tree is done. So here I'm starting the Zebak kill. This one's actually probably the easiest fight of them all. With Bowfa you have so much range, so just keep standing back, range pot up and damage him. Whenever he throws a rock at you, pray range. Whenever he throws a magic ball at you, pray magic. With my invocations you can also cast ancient magics. You'll see some sort of warning or an indicator for that. If his right pot, just like here, lights up quickly, you know some ancient magic is gonna come up. This is either gonna be the blood orbs you just see he's spawning, or it's gonna be some sort of ancient like blood magic directly on you. Whenever he does that, just quickly flick to magic spray. As soon as you see the animation for it, you can flick it off and go back to range or whatever. Push those chucks, you can push them diagonally or straight. close to the spikes, and when they're close, shoot them or let them crash directly into the spikes to clear the debris on the floor. And basically that's all you do. You repeat that, you dodge the waves until it's done. With Bowfa you should do a lot of damage and tear them down pretty quickly. When you get here, you have to decide what you get from the ghost based on your food situation. Usually at this point I'm still basically full food, so I just sip one of my supersets each, drop them because I no longer need them. You'll have salt after this, and I take double salt adrenaline combo. If you have less food, you might as well go for life, but if you can, always go for this option. It gives you basically a huge damage boost, and you can go for food later. So drop some of those supplies, you'll pick them up later, pick all those stuffs and solve this room. If you don't know how to solve this room, I recommend you to go watch the tutorial online. I'm using the plugin for TOA. On the right, it's I think it's TOA helper or something. It shows me basically a list of what waves of mobs are spawning next. So just have an easier time of switching my gear in advance for it. Alright, that's the room done, and I nearly died there. But yeah, here we start Bowfa. That's where you saw the clip from. I'm not sure if it was that round, probably not, but yeah, essentially what I do is I just Bowfa him. At some point I realized that it's not even worth trying to melee him, you basically never hit, or rarely, and even if the damage is not that much higher than ranged, so you just abuse the accuracy of Bowfa. And you see me like tearing holes into him. So just go in, spawn your ranged thrall, and he's already phased. It's kind of crazy. So he's already in his mechanic here. Usually I have to shoot the first 2 balls to get closer, and then at this point you can switch between 1 hit on the boss and then 1 on the ball. But just go whatever you want. You don't have the mechanic that knocks you back, so this should not give you a lot of troubles here. Just make sure to alternate essentially. And yeah, it's that easy. I actually almost fucked that one up, so yeah, you could probably do that a lot better than I did. This room should be pretty self-explanatory for you. I have the luxury of having a dragon pickaxe as well as 80 plus mining, so I can usually do it in 2 cycles. If you don't have those levels or another dragon pickaxe, you most likely need 3 cycles for it. I found out that most of the time in solo 150s it's going around the north side, but yeah, in general just pick up the mirrors, place them and finish this room. It shouldn't be a big hassle. So now comes up Akkha. He's probably the hardest demi-boss from all the fours before. Start in mage and spawn your thralls, try to remember spawning those, unless you don't have enough prayer left. So put up melee and start damaging with mage and kite him around the room essentially to avoid all the damage he does. So when those guys spawns, in the beginning it doesn't really matter, you just have to start damaging one of the corners. Next time you can't take the same one, so it's kind of rotating, so next time you have to do the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one, and so on. Whenever they spawn, he's also about to change his attack style, so last was mage, so this one's gonna be melee next. It's about to happen now, I think. And he just did it. So you go melee, he goes range. You can see it on the type of projectile he does. If it's like a light arrow sort of projectile, it's a ranged attack. And if he does like a red kind of projectile, that would be the mage. But it's always the same pattern, so you can just learn it eventually. He's about to do his special mechanic where he jumps into the middle and the colors light up. Try to remember those colors, in this case it's black, yellow, white and then red. So start on those, black, if it's exploded move, exploded move, exploded move, exploded move, and go back to wherever you were. If he's doing this mechanic again, you probably already have figured out which one you have to hit. You see the three light ones, you can't hit those. You have to hit the one with the off color, in this case the darker one. It doesn't really matter if you use melee or range here. Most likely melee is gonna be your better option, but if you're far away or if another mechanic is happening, range is just as fine. And the last phase is most fun phase. All the melee works on him here. You can hit him 3 times before he teleports. And I don't think there's any like special trick or anything. It's just probably getting used to it and practice it. And your thrall can do some extra damage here, so that might help you. And here's your last shopping trip, because you took the power earlier with the 2 salts and 1 adrenaline. You still have some of those left, most likely, so you can just take a life here and stock up on full supplies. You want to make sure you at least have 1 adrenaline here, and you want to have at least 1 salt, just so you can 1 phase, or 2 phase I should say, the Wardens, and then still have some over for Warden P2. So when you get in, I most of the time by now I just use Bowfa. It's the most accurate and hence hits the best. So just start damaging on Bowfa and stand on the east side. So when you enter, that would be the left side. I think this phase is a lot easier for a solo player with Bowfa. So you instantly see me go left and tank some of those orbs here. I damage him with ranged. If you don't know what this does, essentially it makes it so the east guy or the left guy from your perspective doesn't get any energy and never casts his ability. This is the ability of the right guy, or yeah, the guy on your right, because he got failed, he casted this, and now the left guy actually failed. So you have them off cycle now, that's why you can dodge them. And it also means that from your perspective, the right guy, so the west guy in the room, will have his full charge earlier, and it's gonna be the guy you're gonna be fighting. Those two are slightly different in how you fight them, but don't you really worry about that at all. So here I'm about to kill the obelisk, and what you will do after that is put on your mage gear and cast your mage thrall. And you wanna pray mage to begin with as well. I recommend you starting in this corner. I'm starting here. It's just easier to dodge all his abilities from there. He can only do range and mage in this phase, except for special attacks, which I will try to cover if I see them. So he starts with Red Skull. Red Skull means a mage attack. If it's a white sort of arrow, that's a range attack. You need to watch out for some sort of explosion things he throws on the floor. If it happens, you want to step one tile next to it to avoid most of the damage, just like here. One tile next to it, exactly, and damage over it. Go back to the corner and look at his animations and what the projectiles are. Here we're getting close to phasing him, so make sure in advance that you're pre-potted and that you have sipped one dose of adrenaline. Put on all your melee gear and put on the dragon dagger as you start specking away. You need to have the adrenaline on so you get enough specs in. I think you can get in 7 specs total and 1 whip hit, but yeah, just do whatever you feel. Start specking him, you see me switch the whip for 1 hit. Just to make sure I had the whip hit in. And then I think, yeah, it's already over here. And the next phase is where you damage him with ranged, and it's the same thing. Just stand in the same corner, exact same principles. He can do one other ability that you basically automatically dodge if you stand in the corner. That's why you're here. Just watch out for his projectiles, and you should be fine. And as you see, Bowfa with the range thrall together, doing big damage. He's about to die again, so put on your melee gear again. You still have the adrenaline from earlier, don't re-pot it. And just start specking away. I don't even have my Fury on, and I have enough damage to do this. Just use all your specs, go to your whip. Whenever you get specs up, use them again. And that's Warden phase 1. As he's dying, you can heal up to full. Use all your brews or whatever, organize your inventory a bit, make sure you have assault active, and then switch into your range gear. When you get here, spawn your range thrall, you can chill back here and stand 1 tile next to the middle row, which I'm right now. Then you basically hit him, and step 2 tiles to the left, hit him, go to the middle. He's always doing the same pattern, he always starts with his right hand, so this will be your left side, just like here. His first attack, then you go to the opposite side, so 2 tiles over, you shoot him, and then you go to the middle. So you can do that basically forever, it's all that is here. You can use a little Scarab to help you with prey consumption. Just make sure he's still healthy at all times, there's no need to risk anything here. So he's casting, or he's soon to cast his skulls, so here they are. Just put on any sort of melee weapon, the whip is enough for this, they're all one hit anyway. One hit them all, go back to your bow and repeat what you do. Start on the right side, hit him, 2 tiles left, middle, and repeat. So when you're nearing the 800 HP mark, he's gonna throw another pair of red skulls, damage them, and now it's just gonna be the same thing. You're just gonna stand the exact same tiles with the bow, but you now also have to watch at the little Zebak on the left and make sure to pray the correct style. So it's still the same, it's the rocks means ranged and the fireball means mage. Just make sure to pray them at all times. And then here we have the next pair of skulls. At this point he also spawns a copy of Baba on the right, so you just do the same thing. You destroy the skulls, watch out for Zebak, it's the most important thing. Keep praying whatever he shoots at you, but now you also have to dodge the rocks. So you kind of have to dodge the attacks of Warden, pray against the attacks of Zebak, and then dodge the rocks by walking forwards and backwards at the same time. This game can be a little complicated, but keep in mind you just have to walk one tile to dodge the stone. So basically just shoot and then walk one tile so you can never get hit. Just like here, you see me first prioritize to pray, then yeah, I attack, I go to the right tile and automatically also dodge the rock. It's a bit overwhelming at first, but you'll get used to it. So we're about to phase him to the final phase here. You still have to dodge the rocks and pray against the Zebak attacks on the left. But what's new here is he's no longer using his aimed attack where you walk right and left. Instead he's using his like lightning attack. Just keep watching out for the floors with the shadows. And after every shot basically just step one tile. Make sure to pray the correct pray against the left guy while dodging the shadows. This is where you take most damage shells, and if you have to just use all your ambrosia pots, they full heal you, just make sure you stay healthy. With Bowfa you should have plenty of damage if you have Assault active to make this phase in time. That's basically all there is to it. You see Bowfa really simplifies a lot of those things here, but it's still not an easy encounter. So if you have troubles, just keep practicing and eventually you'll get the hang of it. And if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments, I'll happily help you out. Yeah, I wish you good luck with your first TOA clears, and with that, Flexi out. Take care guys.